Let me show you something right here. Okay, so many times, many of us have talked about how so much of our power, so much of our history and things of that nature have been stolen. But as a true mystical spiritual being that is aware of the having a human experience in physical form, meaning you must think and speak as spirit first before anything else, because you are spirit first before you are the body. Spirit indwells in the body, dwells in the body. Anywho, so here's the thing: truth is actually found in all of the lies, all of the so-called lies, all of the fabrications, all of the misinterpretations. When this is truly open, then you're able to see the actual truth. Okay? Regardless of the lie that is written on the surface. Does that make sense? So when we talk about when a lot of us, it's a lot of teachers and leaders that I've seen, and I was at first one of them before I became more enlightened. Okay, that basically the truth is hidden in plain sight. I made a post or a video or something before, not too long, a while back, sometime, where I said that the English language, it is, yes, it's a spell, but it can be good and it can be bad at the same time, because those who have the eyes to see and ears to hear are able to take that spell and find the truth that lies within the spell. And then on the negative side, it was created to keep you also disconnected from the truth, where on the surface you just see all the words that are the Americanized version of words and everything, and what the English language is and everything like that. You see that on the surface, but the person who has a blocked mind is unable to see the actual code and the truth that hides within that actual language. So, the whole language, the alphabetical language, the alphabet itself tells a story. It tells you exactly who you are and what happened and all of those things. The English language tells you what has happened. It is telling the story of humanity. It's telling the story of all of the evolution, the good and the bad. So when we talk about something being stolen, it's not necessarily stolen. It's just lost. It's lost in the big spell that there is. It's lost in the big language. It's lost in all of the English language. Because just think about it. Why and how did English become the most common and primary language of the world? Even people in foreign countries are able to speak English and understand, even if they do speak their native tongue, but they still know the English language. English has gone all around the entire world. And so we are remembering ourselves. The memories are in our cells, okay? The information that we have, let's talk about the Bible, for instance, because that's the main teaching that I have, that I do. So those of y'all that don't know or whatever, or I haven't been here in a while, and y'all forgot, I'm a metaphysical minister and spiritual life coach, and I specialize in Bible interpretation. And I was divinely guided to become a minister. I never saw myself as being a minister of anything. I wasn't that religious. I grew up in Christian Baptist home and all that kind of stuff, right? But now my awareness is opened a whole lot. Metaphysics has taught me and revealed to me a whole lot. So, when we say that the Bible or the story in the Bible was stolen, that Jesus' story was stolen from the original history of our ancient ancestors in ancient Kemet, first of all, I want to tell y'all, I just did a video, I just did a post, a voiceover and stuff. If y'all need to listen to it and stuff so you can get the understanding here. But everything started with Kemet. Yes, that is true. But you also have to be knowing, understanding that everything goes in a circle, a cycle. And if something is going in a cycle, it's constantly always coming back to the beginning. So no matter what you do to the truth, it's always going to come back to the beginning. And the truth is always going to come out one way or another, no matter how you try to mask it. So instead of saying that it's stolen, it's not necessarily stolen. It's just repeated itself in different form. And certain people took that form and distorted it or inverted it and changed it to fit their own narrative. That's the thing right there. So it's not that it was stolen, it's just that it was lost due to the adversaries that wanted to disconnect us. Okay? That's what was stolen. The connection and understanding was stolen. Not the actual truth. Okay? Jesus, yes, was a person, aka Yeshua. Yahusha. Jesus was a person. Okay? He was a person who was enlightened. And I always, I really get the visual. I can see the visual in my mind where I'm seeing all these different enlightened beings, right? You have the Buddha, who is constantly, he's walking just like this through all of the world with all the chaos that is going on in the world. And he's just at calm and at peace and eyes closed, meditating. And when someone encounters him and everything, he puts his hand up and he speaks in whatever he's going to speak at that moment in such a calm and peaceful manner. The same thing with Yeshua, the Christ. He too was very enlightened and knew who he was and embodied that. And he was trying to show the people that they too can have the same light as he. They too can be able to do the same thing that he can do. Okay? He too was walking through the land, preaching his word, teaching his experience, teaching his wisdom, while using parables and allegorical stories because people would distort his messages. Okay? He did that. And that is why they hated him. That is why they crucified him, because he was too dang on embodied for them. They didn't believe not a dang on thing that he said. They had ye little faith, and their hearts were so hardened that they could not believe anything that he was saying. They believed what he was saying for him, but not for themselves, not for anybody else. And you have those who were non-followers. You have the naysayers. You have the Pharisees and the followers of the Pharisees, okay, who basically were conformed to the ways of the world, which is why Jesus called them out and said, you hypocrites, you teach my word, but you are far from me. Your hearts and your minds are far from me. Because them, along with the people who believed them or followed them, kept asking and kept on trying to get him to give them big old miraculous signs that he's the Son, S-U-N, of God, that basically he himself had to go in frustration and sigh and just like, how long do I have to be here with you people? How long do I have to be here with you faithless people? He told them, he said, why do they still question me about who I am? I tell you the truth. And he ain't give them no sign. He said, I'm not giving you no sign. I'm not giving him no sign. And got back in his boat. Okay? So this is the same cycle that is going on in this entire world right now. And this is why I read the Bible. This is why I teach the Bible. Because when I look outside in the world, I see exactly that. I pay attention to what's being said in this Bible, and then I look outside the world and I hear all of these people, whether it's religious, whether it's spiritual, they don't know what they're talking about. They get in their knowledge or whatever from just word of mouth. They don't do their own research, and the research that they do, they only how can I say, they only depend on that research and stuff. They talk about going inward, but they don't necessarily go inward themselves. And if they go inward, they don't even freaking fully understand what is coming through because they're too crowded with physical books. When the whole truth is always inside of you the whole time. E-N is Spanish or Latin for in. It means in. Stole, the beginning of stole, S-T-O, is the beginning of story. So it's telling you the story is already in the light, the letter L, the L for light. You are the light. The story is in you. Take note. Note is also in stolen. Take notes. Note and know that the story is in you. Then the letter O. The letter O is also a symbol. It is a space. It is the space in where creation is at, where you create your own story. Lost, stole, steal, leased, stole, sold. Soul, lost. Lost, soul. Your soul is lost because it's not saying that your soul is necessarily lost like you're just a lost soul. It's saying it's lost because you have been disconnected from the truth, in which the truth is lost within you. And you have to go back within you to find the truth, to find your story, and to fully actually live your story. Let me tell you something. With story, it also has the letter R. So the letter R is the third eye, which also resembles the falcon, or also known as the eye of Heru. Okay, it is also the pineal gland. Then you have the letter Y, which is a chromosome. What is the letter Y a chromosome of? What chromosome is that? Man. Now this ain't trying to come after no man. But who changed the story? Who changed the story? See, the story wasn't stolen. It was lost because of man who changed the story. Man is also a part of humanity. So it can also be women. But it's showing right now, man took the story. Where do you think patriarchy came from? Um, they told a story to disconnect you from the truth, to fit their narrative. That is what happened. But if you have the eye to see, which you do because it's in you already, you just have to tune into it, then you will be able to see the truth beneath the lie. So the truth is literally in plain sight. While we say that the Bible is a stolen story of ancient Kemet ancestors, it's really actually the true story in plain sight. It's in plain sight. You just got to be fully aware of it. When you become fully aware of it, that is where you become understanding and no longer understanding. Under is like you're under someone, right? And you under, so it's meaning like you're basically less, or you're under something. So you're only understanding the surface when you should be understanding the surface and the deeper story. Does that make sense? What I'm doing here, for me, what I call it is word alchemy. This is word alchemy. It shows you your words, the English, the letters. They are symbols. They are codes. You are an encoded being. You are code of light. You are light codes. So the codes start to emerge and start to show you the light. It starts to show you the truth. So instead of saying that everything is stolen, it's not stolen because it's just repeating itself. It's repeating itself in different form, whether it's good or bad. But it's always going to come back around to the beginning. It is always going to keep coming back around to the truth. And you're always going to keep on seeing the same cycle until you be able to change your perception so that you can be able to see the truth. Oh yeah, that's deep. That's real deep. Now when we talk about least, steal and least. Steal turns into least, okay? Or it can also be least. Least means temporary. So, tell a less story, a story that is less. It's literally telling you a whole story here. It's saying that they told you a story that is lesser than, so that they can be able to control. It's all about control. It's always been about control, power. For whatever reason, these people just want control and power. So they tell you a story to keep you disconnected from the truth so that you will not see it. So, release means temporary. So when you say release, when you say I release, you want to say that you let go instead. That way you can let go of it fully. Because release, is to do again. Do you want to keep leasing the story? The same story that was told to you? Or do you want to let go of the old story that was told to you? And remember, go back to your original state. The truth, the actual truth. The beginning. Yeah. I think I covered it. I think about covered it. I might be missing something else, but I think I covered most of everything. So the whole message and point of today is nothing is ever really stolen. Nothing is ever really bad or negative. You are the alchemist. You can transmute and alchemize all of that. Okay? And become your true self, who you truly are. who you know you truly are. That's the message. I love you.